Today is an absurd day for War of the Spark preview season. There are simply too many good cards being released in this set, it's so nuts. I'm going to show you all of them and we can freak out together, but before that, click the first link in the description to enter a giveaway for a free booster box of War of the Spark, shipped anywhere in the world for free. Just be subscribed to the channel on YouTube, follow on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram, tons of ways to gain entry. First link in the description. I do hope you enjoy this nutso War of the Spark preview video, and if you do, remember to hit that like button, helps out a lot. Firemind Vessel is 4 mana for an artifact that enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it and add 2 mana of different colors. Hello, new mana rock for Commander. No reason not to run this. It isn't Thran Dynamo, of course, but if you're playing literally any multicolor deck, who wouldn't want a color-specific mana rock that ramps you 2 mana and fixes said mana in a way that most cards just can't? It's like a super signet, really interesting design. Now, you'll notice the flavor text says that Niv is dead, but if you read the title of this video, never mind. It's a cool card. Great for Commander, totally nothing else to see here. Contentious Plan is 2 mana for a sorcery, proliferate, draw a card. Yes, this is perfect. I love cards like this. It replaces itself in your hand and it pumps up everything on the field with a +1/+1 counter or loyalty counter. Perfect card for a limited tribal walker deck or Simic nonsense deck, but what I really like about this is the story. Quote, Niv-Mizzet had perfected a plan, but he had no control over the mortal minds who had to agree to implement it. I wouldn't trust Jace and Vraska to carry anything out if we're being honest. Niv is a super genius dragon. Jace is not. Vraska definitely is not. And we're not gonna talk about Raw. Dude is, yeah. Anyways, we'll see how this plays out. Maybe, sort of. Totally unknown. Yep, totally unknown. God Eternal Kefnet is 2 of anything and 2 blue for a 4/5 legendary creature zombie god with flying. Legit will never get over that creature type. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy. That copy costs 2 less to cast. When Kefnet dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. Wow. Kefnet is not here to mess around. First, the artwork is hauntingly awesome. One of my favorites in the entire set so far. 4 mana for a 4/5 with flying, don't care about that, but it's fine. That trigger, talk about card and mana advantage, what a monster ability. Now, there are some specifics that truly make this card dumb. First, it says you may reveal the first card you draw each turn, which means you can do this on each of your opponent's turns. Then it says whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery, copy that card and you may cast the copy. That means that you get to cast the card right then, including sorceries. It ignores timing restrictions. So if you draw a card on your opponent's turn, if it's a powerful sorcery and you know about it beforehand somehow, boom, you get to wreck something. And you get to do it for cheaper than you should. Kefnet is so interesting. It's like having Miracle attached to each of your first draws per turn and a crazy cost reduction enchantment just there. Kefnet's absurd. I think for Commander, he's gonna be a real problem. Jace's Triumph is 3 mana for a sorcery, draw 2 cards. If you control a Jace Planeswalker, draw 3 cards instead. This is literally just a better divination. The thing is, with most of the Triumph cards, you can't really count on having that walker on the battlefield to help you take advantage of the claws, but with this one, you might. New Jace is actually pretty good and would go great in a control deck alongside the Triumph, so as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the more playable Triumphs. Plus again, divination with upside, not actually that bad. If we're being honest though, if you aren't running a bunch of Jace walkers, there's no reason to run anything besides Chemist's Insight, just saying. Tamiyo's Epiphany is 4 mana for a sorcery, scry 4, then draw 2 cards. This is a functional reprint of 4C, but I'm totally okay with that because that artwork is awesome. Kefnet and Tamiyo going head to head, talk about a battle of knowledge. This artwork is some of the best I've seen so far. Kefnet looks like a god, more so than on Amonkhet to be honest. That Lazotep plating makes him look so fierce. Oh, I'm in love with this set. Finale of Promise is X and double red for a sorcery, Wall of Text time. You may cast up to 1 target instant card and or up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard, each with converted mana cost X or less without paying their mana cost. If a card cast this way would be put into the graveyard this turn, exile it instead. If X is 10 or more, copy each of those spells twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. There's a lot to unpack here. First, Finale of Promise, are you serious? This is a mythic rare of Bolas enacting his plan, whatever the heck that is. Finale usually means, you know, the end of something, so that's terrifying. Awesome, but also terrifying. Next, this is the big dumb red mythic in this set, and that's super cool. I think what I like most about this card though is that it can trigger Arclight Phoenix out of the graveyard by itself. Cast it for 4 total mana, get a Chart, of course, and an Opt or something. Boom, Arclight Phoenix. That's 3 spells, easy peasy. Players are going to see this card and be tempted to do stupid stuff with that last clause, getting to copy your spells a bunch of times, but actually, I think it might be decent in blue-red Drakes or any blue-red spell-slinging deck. Think about it. You can cast this for 4 mana, which isn't a lot, and recur 2 cards. I'd pay 4 mana to recur Discovery and Radical Idea, just saying, it could be useful. Band of Flourishing is 2 mana for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You gain 3 life. I actually love this card. Look, it's the Simic and Selesnya getting along. How cute. Anyways, playability-wise, the first thought I had was in Wilderness Reclamation decks as a good stall tactic against mono red, especially in best of 1 on Arena. It lets you dig for your important spells, filter away what you don't need, and gains you some life to help against the oncoming onslaught. Can grab you the Reclamation, Hydrate Krasis, Knight of Autumn, Tristani, Lyra, you get where I'm coming from. I think it's a pretty good card for the cost, even at sorcery speed. It's the 3 life that puts it into playable territory for me, just a thought. God Eternal Rhonas is 3 of anything and 2 green for a 5/5 legendary creature zombie god with Death Touch. When Rhonas enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. When Rhonas dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, he does that stupid thing where he never actually dies. Okay, Rhonas is absolutely absurd and 100% standard playable. I don't care what anyone else says. Rhonas is perfect for the mono green ramp deck that zooms out Galta, Nullhide Ferox, and Steel Leaf Champion. This card is a game winner in those strategies. If you're playing any kind of big creature deck and your opponent doesn't have sufficient blockers or settle the wreckage, Rhonas can win the game out of nowhere. Put him into a Gruul deck with the Spellbreaker, it gets even more difficult to deal with him. Rhonas simply ends games by being on the battlefield. Expect to see this in standard, trust me. What a crazy bomb. And that doesn't even include commander play where Xenagos players are just legit freaking out. What a brutal card. I can't even right now. The set is so outrageous. Niv-Mizzet Reborn is 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 green for a 6/6 legendary creature dragon avatar with flying. When Niv enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each color pair, choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them. Put the chosen cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Holy crap on a cracker, Batman. Niv-Mizzet is reborn as a dragon avatar. He's 5 colors, and that ability doesn't even make sense. What? I can't even right now. This is so insane. So he enters the battlefield, and if you're playing a deck with tons of color paired multicolored cards, you just draw a bunch of them, meant for commander. Niv is going to the top of the list for deck building purposes, truly a ridiculous legendary creature. I can't even think critically right now. I guess you can try playing him in standard with Chromatic Lantern, but I don't care about that at all. Give me Niv in commander, let me build a tribal guild deck, literally all the guilds, the best cards from them. Okay, I'm gonna do that. This is so awesome. Niv is my favorite card in the set, not even close. Ugh. Pledge of Unity is 1 of anything, 1 green and 1 white for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. You gain 1 life for each creature you control. I really like this card. If you have even a marginal creature presence on board, this gives you a decent power boost and life boost for 3 mana at instant speed. So it's a life gain spell, a combat trick, and a way to permanently pump your board. I think it's probably made for limited, but there are token decks in standard, powerful ones. Responding to a Goblin Chain Whirler with this might not be so bad, we'll see. What I like most about this card is the flavor. Gideon and Ajani are rallying the troops. If anyone is going to get a bunch of humans to stay in line, it would be Gideon. Card has interesting potential. Tamiyo, Collector of Tales, is 2 of anything, 1 green and 1 blue for a 5 loyalty legendary planeswalker. Spells and abilities your opponents control can cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. You can +1 and choose a non-land card name, then reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You can also -3 and return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Now this is a really interesting card. I did not expect anything like this out of Tamiyo, but this design is just amazing. She's absolutely phenomenal with the God Eternals after they get tucked, easily guessing their name and drawing them up, but her real value is that graveyard filling and recursion. She's made for commander. She's bordering on the line of wanting to be black without actually being black, and that's so cool. She'll fit in just fine to most Sultai strategies with graveyard interactions. I'm thinking Sidisi Brute Tyrant, Muldrotha, the Mimeoplasm. The list is basically endless. What a huge bomb for Sultai Reanimator decks in commander. I really like this design, like a lot. This has probably been the biggest day for War of the Spark previews. We saw so much, and Niv-Mizzet alone makes me swoon so hard I can't even deal with it. What do you think about the big bad dragon avatar? What about Kefnet, or Rhonas, or anything absurd in the set in general? Would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave them below and we'll talk about it. Also, don't forget to enter the giveaway for a free booster box of War of the Spark shipped anywhere in the world for free. Be a sub to the channel, and click the first link in the description. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel for the latest and most reliable War of the Spark preview information you could ever need. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com, where the Spark booster boxes are pre-ordering right now for $97 each, and that is a huge bargain as far as I'm concerned. Click the link on the screen to get boxes at a great price delivered right to your door on release if you don't have a local game store or yours is charging way too much. Helps the channel out a ton too, so click away please. Enjoy the awesomeness that is the set.